When something strange in a neighborhood, who do you call? UATV English is trying to find out what's up in Kursk, Russia. Next topic is the grim anniversary. 16 years ago, Russia invaded Georgia. Covered Russian sabotage in Europe went not so covered as planned. Third topic. These topics in more detail by UATV English and me, Henry Keane, bringing the hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine. The Russian army is the second strongest army in the world, in the Kursk region. One thing is clear, something strange is definitely up there. Washington and Russia today, and the whole world is craving to know what is going on there. Well, our sources right now as we speak are trying hard to get some more info, but whatever strange is happening, it is happening on Russian territory. So we are not Russia to violate a state's border just to know what's going on, right? So, okay, let us look at the options palette here. Who can help us? Maybe the Ukrainian Armed Forces General Staff knows something about it. Bloomberg was trying to reach them on the phone yesterday at about 6 p.m. and the end of the working day, no answer. Obviously, even if Ukrainian general staff knows something, he doesn't like to work overtime. You know, office life, start at 9, finish at 5, nothing else matters. Like, who? Bloomberg? Sorry, war? Did you see what time it is? Please mind working hours. Well, don't get us wrong. Well, don't get us wrong. In Ukraine, we would like absolutely to report on everything we know about the Kursk region, whether it is on the demand of Washington or anyone else who likes to learn some top-secret military info. We want, but we won't because we can't. Russians burned down our energy supply system, so we have power outages and no internet. The other option was to use old-fashioned paper mail, but that requires an air connection, and the Ukrainian sky is so packed with Russian missiles and drones that even NATO can't handle that our planes can't fly. We then thought, hey, maybe the railway is the answer. But then again, those power outages would compromise such an important update. The car, maybe? We tried that. Russian missiles burned so many gas and oil stations in Ukraine that a car is not an option either. We tried to go as rural as possible. A horse. Yes, that is a way out, maybe. Well, maybe, but Russians stole almost all of the Ukrainian grain, and you really need to feed the animal at some point on your way to Washington. So we thought most likely that the news will be delivered by foot. Maybe I can do it. Moving out like tonight. I was ready, but then someone reminded me that I won't be able to pass the border with those restrictions for all adult men during a wartime to leave the country. And then it was like an enlightenment. A child. Well, of course. Yes, we send a Ukrainian child, say a teenager, 16 years old, on foot to Washington so they can walk and grow along the way, and rough estimate gives us about 2 years on road, and then White House gets its report and the messenger can have their 18th birthday celebration in Washington. And then the world finally finds out what's so strange going on in the Kursk region in Russia, and who is the aggressor, and what a proper retaliation looks like. Win-win-win situation, is it not? Or maybe you guys learn the truth faster if you exercise some patience and follow the news about Ukraine directly from Ukraine by staying tuned at Us UATV English. There's more to come very, very soon. Trust me on that. Today is the grim anniversary, 16th anniversary of the Russian invasion of Georgia. The Russian occupation has turned these Georgian regions into a grey zone where lawlessness reigns, prospects are lacking, and human rights are just neglected. The fighting stopped in August 2008, but Russia's aggression against Georgia did not end there.
Russia currently continues to occupy 20% of Georgia territory and imposes its rules on the local population, including announcing the transfer of strategically important lands in Abkhazia to Russia and preparing to establish a permanent naval base in the city of Ochmachir. Antony Blinken, United States Secretary of State.
Well, we in Ukraine certainly know what Mr. Blinken is talking about. Moscow continued the so-called borderization, that is, the creepy annexation of Georgian territory, pressure, propaganda, and other hybrid methods of intervention. Well, let me put it in easy terms for you. It is all happening because of the virus of greatness that more or less is innate in every single Russian. So it might be the Secretary of State of the United States or the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry or Jesus Christ himself descending from the heavens and trying to talk sense to Russia. No good. It just doesn't work that way. Russia just does not give a damn about things like laws, borders, international commitments, and ceasefire agreements in particular, and human rights in general. None of this is worth a damn to the Kremlin and to the Russian people, by the way. For Russians, one sole rule is true: we are Russians and we are great. How could a great nation ever get Joseph Stalin to destroy 24 million of its fellow people, and this bloodthirsty paranoid monster still remains living in the hearts of many Russians as a father of people and a firm hand-bearer? Looks like Russians indeed are a fatherless nation, forever searching for a firm father's hand that deprives them of their worst enemy, freedom. Russians hate freedom as they just can't handle the responsibility that comes with it. This is why Russians adore Putin, as he took the freedom and responsibility away from them. And all they need to do now is to obey. Putin equals Russia, and Russia, that's right, it's great. Full stop. Even the fun fact that the entire country drives Western cars and uses Western technology literally everywhere, and the only Russian computer ever created turned out to be so powerful that they did not have enough gas to run it, does not conflict in any way with the collective Russian unconscious. Russia is great. The thought that Georgia is Georgia, and Ukraine is Ukraine, and Poland is Poland, and Baltic states are Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, and all that is not Russia, never even crosses their Russian minds, spoiled to their very core by the paradigm of false greatness. All good, says Russian greatness, all is great. And in reality, economically, remember the ruble at 30 to $1 and now 130? Politically, remember G7 with Russia in it and now kicked out of almost everywhere. Militarily, remember Kiev in 3 days back then, and now in almost 3 years, Russians are not sure if Kursk is still Russia. This is why we in Ukraine mark a grim anniversary of Russian false criminal greatness and the war against freedom of Georgia. And there is no reason to call on Russia to abide by any law of objective reality, as Russia dwells in its own subjective greatness and just doesn't care about the objective reality. So I guess we all sooner or later will be seeing Russia with all its greatness smashing right into the iron wall of reality, as such an outcome is simply inevitable for anyone who ignores it. The head of the Irish Security Intelligence Bureau, Michael McEilgan, said that Russia is one of a handful of countries that are trying to spy on the country, and not too successfully, I suppose, if the intelligence officer informs us about it. According to Mr. McEilgan, these several countries, including Russia, are seeking to support extremist groups and are also trying to obtain secret state and industrial data. The Irish Intelligence Bureau has 4 departments that monitor the activities of these 4 countries. Ireland has diplomatic relations with these countries, McEilgan said. However, if we look at the events in Salisbury, UK, or the Russian invasion of Ukraine, few would be surprised to learn that one of these countries is Russia. Moreover, I'm sure there's few surprised would be of Russian ethnicity. Well, after Russian propaganda, Russia Today and Sputnik were blocked in the West, they were replaced by pro-Kremlin bloggers and news networks in Telegram. A total of about 800 such channels in 30 languages, according to Novaya Gazeta. After Russia's attack on Ukraine in February 2022, the EU and the US stopped broadcasting Russia Today TV channels. Apple and Google banned downloading RT and Sputnik apps, and YouTube, TikTok, and Meta, that is Facebook and Instagram, just blocked their accounts. Nevertheless, the budgets of propaganda outlet Russia Today increased by almost 4 billion rubles in total from 21st to 2024. The Kremlin, in an ancient Russian tradition, has relied on guerrilla methods in obtaining Western audiences. Networks of Telegram channels, pro-Russian bloggers and websites, collaborations within anti-Western communities from ultra-left to QAnon followers. As a result, despite the blocking, the audience of pro-Kremlin Telegram abroad has doubled in 2 years of war. This is how the Kremlin broadcasts its venomous position to many countries almost without encountering any censorship. Well, what can I say here? Those who play on the side of the law can often look like weak and vulnerable, looking like they're losing the race, the goal of which is to capture the minds of audiences. However, firstly, we must not forget about the quality of such minds we're talking about here. No one in their right mind can ever accept the narratives like necessity of destroying Israel or Nazism in Ukraine. Secondly, when the war is over, everyone, I repeat, everyone wants to live by the law, right? So the only question is what kind of law it is. The law of brutal force, when the one with more missiles in stock is always more right than the one with fewer, or by the law of international law and human values. And it is exactly by the choice made you can undoubtedly tell the dictatorship from the democracy. Well, that was it for this episode. It was me, Henry Keane, with my team at UATV English, hopefully to bring some hard truth in easy terms for you out there. Please like, share and comment, as your voice matters a lot. In turn, it helps Ukrainian voice to be shared worldwide. So more to come already tomorrow. Please stay safe and tuned for more. Thank you. Goodbye.